Good morning, my dear friends and my dear students. Today we are going to talk about interesting and the basic of our living in a particular place. How we are able to live. How we are able to live in India. How we are able to survive among the various other people. It is because there exists human rights. Yes, my dear friends, today we are going to discuss about human rights. What are we going to have a glance at in this lesson? We are going to talk about the origin of human rights, the organization of human rights. Secondly, we are going to talk about this universal declaration of human rights, how these human rights is accepted universally, in what basis, that is the second one. Third one, in India, our independence, our freedom is accepted through the establishment of constitution. So based on Indian constitution, what are our fundamental rights? What are our fundamental duties? That's what we are going to discuss thirdly. Next, when we talk about, we are going to have about how it is executed, from where this particular human rights is activation. It is through a commission, Human Rights Commission. It exists in the two levels, national level and in the state level. So not only we are going to talk about this commission, we are also going to talk about a little bit of its own function, how it functions. And last and fifthly, we are going to talk about, other than these human rights, or we can talk about a part of these human rights, what are the other rights exist? Namely, child rights, women's rights, labor's rights, and so on. So many other exist. So major, these three rights we are going to discuss about. So shall we proceed with the first one, the origin of these rights, where it started, where we all started to fight for our own rights. It is through our nation's father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. On 7th June 1893, when he was traveling in South Africa, he was pulled out from the first class compartment and he was thrown to the least. And he was kept in a place where we can stay. And when he was there, he started to fight. When they asked the reason, he said it was because of the color and the race. And when he was there, in the particular place, in the waiting room, he started to think to fight against this racial oppression through the means of non-violence. Yes, my dear friends, this is where, from this particular event, these types of the fight for their rights emerged, so-called. So Mahatma Gandhi stayed in South Africa and fight against the racial discriminations against the Indians. Out of this struggle emerged, he had brought about unique way of protest, that is what called as non-violence, satyagraha. As a human being, Gandhiji had all right to travel in the particular first class compartment. But he was discriminated because of his skin color. So to compress, have a small idea about what is this. Discrimination is not only based on color, as we have heard in this incident. Today in our society, discrimination is taking place in various other bases of race, gender, based place of birth, based on our caste system, based on our religion, and so on. Even today the discrimination is taking place. So it is up to us to think. We cannot have another Mahatma Gandhi to come and save us. So it is you and me who are going to fight for. So for that we should know some of the rules and regulations which are normally given by the government, based on which we can fight for our own self. That is what called as human rights. So what are these human rights are? The United Nations organization which emerged to protect the countries after the Second World War, 24th October 1945, proposed to deal with the consequences of war and to prevent such a happening in the future. So you should not fight against race, one nation against another nation. People should not fight for their race and color and various concepts. So this UNO has defined what human right is. So according to the UNO, the human rights are the right inherent to all human beings, surpassing all gender, all the race, all the color, all the caste. According to it, it's regardless of race, gender, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion that we follow, or any other status, it matters. Everyone is entitled to these rights without discrimination. So all are human beings, that's all. There is no any other discrimination. So this is what the definition given by UNO. So based on this concept, what the universally accepted human rights is, which calls the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it played a crucial role in the promoting human rights. What is this Universal Declaration of Human Rights? It is a milestone document. It is not a simple suddenly emerged. From the beginning, when Mahatma Gandhi fought for his own right, from then on it started to develop. This idea is brought here. It is drafted by the representatives with the different legal and cultural backgrounds from all the regions of the world. It is not by a particular group of people. So all the countries in the regions in the world have joined together and they have brought about, they have written this drafted these human rights. The declaration was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris on 10th December 1948. So it is given in the General Assembly Resolution 217A. It is mentioned about, it is a declaration which is given there. The first initiative set out with the fundamental rights to be universally protected. What is the main source of the aim to bring about is universally the human rights. Human rights supposed to be protected by the people, by the government. That's why they brought about. So what are the characteristics of this Universal Declaration of Human Rights? The major this particular one aspect is translated to many languages, so each and every individual person can read and understand. In this there are 30 articles. What these articles are talking about, it guarantees freedom of expression based on civil, political, social, economical and cultural rights. So based on this, so human rights based on this particular freedom of expression, we can divide into two. Human rights as a social, economic and cultural rights on one side, on the other civil and political rights. So we can group into two these particular human rights based on Universal Declaration. This is applied to all the people. We cannot, it is not for a particular country, it is not for particular people, it is applied to all the people, as we say already, irrespective of their race, color, nationality and all. And according to it, all are born free and equal. That is the concept what the Universal Declaration gives us. So we talked about the human rights can be according to the Universal Declaration. We can group into two. The first one we talked about socio-economical and cultural rights, and the another ones the political and civil rights. So based on this we will talk about the concept. First one, socio-economic and cultural rights. These are integral part of human rights law that was developed due to the aftermath of the World War II. So according to it, what is the major concept it talking about? Necessary for the full participation in the society. Each one should involve in the society. It is for the basic of to meet their basic needs, necessity, basic needs of the people, because they are a part of the range of legal principles through which the economic equality and freedom are preserved in a particular state. So to meet their needs, it is very important. In the cultural rights, the human rights that are aimed at assuring the environment of the culture. The major component is the condition of equality. Human dignity, respecting others as a human without discrimination, non-discrimination. So these are the major concepts we can talk about when you say socio-economic cultural rights. The second one, civil and political rights. What is its one function? It is to protect the individual's freedom from infringement by the government, social organization and private individuals. So protecting an individual from all these freedom that we have talked about. This right, this civil and political right ensure one's ability to participate in the civil and political life of the society and the state. What the capacity he has, what the power he has that he can do to the society. So his own ability of participation in the civil and political. So to say, what is civil rights? It is a basic rights afforded by the laws of the government. Every person, regardless of race, color, nationality, gender, age and religion. So this is what a civil rights mean. So the two concepts we talk about are human rights based on Universal Declaration, that is a civil and political rights. Another one, socio-cultural rights. So political rights exercised in the formation and the administration of the government, they are given to the citizens by law, because we cannot just say in utter a word and accept it. So it is all given by law. These rights give power to the citizens to participate either directly or indirectly in the administration of the government. So that's what we can talk about these rights. So from the universal, now we are coming to the concept of India. Human rights in Indian Constitution. So Indian Constitution, which came to be in 1950. So in that particular constitution, it is talking about the rights of human being. First one, it came about fundamental rights. Fundamental is very basic, very necessary rights. It is the fundamental rights required for the all-round development of a human being. It is not a particular field. All-round development, without which a human being cannot, so-called cannot live. Make the life of people meaningful manner, giving them rights or like a speech to live of their own choices. So what are the fundamental rights we are going to see about? It's all very well known, and we have learned from 6th standard onwards. Rights to equality, all are equal. Right to freedom, freedom of life, freedom of speech, freedom to write, freedom to live. It is also against the exploitation, right against exploitation. Nobody can exploit us because we have right to live. We have our own identity. So, right against the exploitation. Right to freedom of conscience and religion. We can talk about our own thinking. Whatever we think, we can speak. We have freedom. And we can also promote a new religion. We can follow any religion according to the Constitution's rule, the law. We have a right. And the right to the educational rights for minorities, cultural and educational rights for minority. So there are some of the things allotted based on the education, based on our own so-called the caste system which is prevailing in our own society. So we have our own rights and the right to constitutional remedies. There are some places where we have solution for some of the situations, so constitutional remedies. So these are called as fundamental rights. So to summarize, to talk about each one, what is equality? All are equal before law, whether he is a minister or whether he is a farmer, whether he is a person of any businessman. All of them are equal before the law and the protection of the law. So it is discrimination on the ground of no religion, no caste, no gender. So it is all same. So anything any concept you belong to, we are all equal human beings. So that's what the first one talks about, equality, and it gives the equal justice from the court. So that's what the first one. Okay, right to equality. Second one, right to freedom. What are the freedoms we have? Talk about freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble in a peaceful without arms. We follow the ahimsa method. We can protest. A freedom from associations and unions. Freedom to reside and settle in any part of India. Because we have a country restriction. So in India, if you are born in India, any part of India, you have freedom to live. So that's what freedom for resistance. Freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India without any so-called passport and other things, because we are Indian. So we have freedom to move around and to freedom to practice any job, profession, to carry on our own life or trade or business or any other occupation. So these are the right to freedom. We have freedom to do our work or various other things. And what is this right against exploitation? It is against the law to employ children below 14 years of age in various other places like mines, factories, other jobs. Neither by the contractor or by the employer can force a worker to do the job against their will. So no one can force people to involve in the particular job. So that's what it is against this exploitation. Right to freedom of conscience and religion. It gives each and every citizen a freedom to follow and practice a religion of our choice. So normally we are born up born and brought up in a particular family and particular background, so we follow it. But if you wish to change our religion, follow the other religious concept, you are free, because Indian Constitution gives us the right. These have the freedom of conscious ideas. We can have our own ideas, our own thinking. We can express it, and we also have the freedom to follow our own ways of practicing any religion. So this is what giving us the freedom, right to freedom of conscience and religion. Culture and education right. The fifth one is the culture and education right. The Constitution gives us a right to preserve and protect and promote culture. Everywhere we see, we proud to be a Tamilian. We follow our own culture. We talked about our Jallikattu protest, because to keep up our own culture and tradition, we fight for it. So that's what we have right to fight for, our own culture, to keep up. Okay, so we have that right. A group of people may open a school. We can start an education system, anything. We can impart religious education to children. So we have freedom based on this educational right. Right to the constitutional remedy. What is this? According to the fundamental rights, it's guaranteed by the Constitution. By this right, we can adopt a constitutional means and approach to the court if we are denied our fundamental rights. We have given so far all our fundamental rights. If anyone is denied, we can directly approach the court. So this is what the court does. It issues an order which are called writs to the government to restore the rights to the citizen, to give back the particular right to the citizen. That's why very often we see in the news that so many particular cases are pending in the court based on various particular individuals' right. So we can approach the court for any purpose based on all the other five. If we are not allowed, we can go to the court, because court and the government are two different things that we have learned in the civics. So the government also promotes such activities by giving grants. However, such institutions cannot deny the admission to anyone based on their caste. So there is a concept we can talk about. The constitutional remedy put to the right anything which may be wrong in terms of the Constitution, the government which has given. So therefore, it protects and safeguards all other rights. So when you talk about the last one, the right to constitutional remedy, which is a guardian of all other, the five rights which we have talked in the fundamental rights. The second one, we talk about fundamental duties. Actually, fundamental duty was not in the, it was not effective from the Constitution, which came to be in 1950. It was added later. So these incorporated in the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act in the year 1976. According to this, it states 11 fundamental duties. So we talked about the rights are 6, 5 rights, and the 6th one is safeguarding all of the rights. The same way, fundamental duties, there are 11 of them. So what are those? Because we need to follow this. Listen carefully. We need to follow in our day-to-day life as a citizen of India. So what are those? Any country it is talked about, we have to follow this. So please listen carefully. First one, respect and cherish the noble idols. What is the major noble idols are? Our national anthem, national flag, we have to respect them. And next to them, we also should cherish and follow the idols, so-called the national struggle freedom fighters. We have to follow their methodology ideas. Third one, protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of the nation. We should not involve in the violence, fight with various other people, fighting with our own different, bringing about the religious problem, social problem, all this. So avoid this. So you have to keep up. So that's our duty. Promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood. All are brothers and sisters. We take the oath in our own schools. I hope you remember in your schooling, you take an oath, we are all brothers and sisters. Which mean all the people of India transcending, giving away all our religious differences, linguistic differences, regional differences, various other diversity, we are all one. That's the concept. Okay, and we are going to renounce the practice of deteriorating to the dignity of women. So we also keep up that they are also like one of our family members, not to degrade, discriminate them. The sixth one is to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. When you talk about the heritage, what our foreparents have brought up, kept up, our own tradition way, we have to keep up. And the seventh one is to protect and improve the natural environment. What is our natural environment? Our forest, our mountains, the rivers and the lakes. These are all our nature has given us. We have to preserve. That is our duty. Not to throw the waste in the rivers, water, not to throw the waste in the so-called the pond, lakes and destroy them. So that is our duty. So without destroying the living creatures, that is our duty. Eighth one is develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry to reform ourselves. Ninth one is safeguard public property. Normally we see a particular comedy we see. In Tamil we talk about Idu ungal chottu. So we have the concept. Our government's property is our property. We should not destroy them. Not only decorating or cleaning our home, we should also keep our nation clean. That's what the ninth one says about safeguard the public property, not to destroy it. And the 10th one is strive towards the excellence in all spheres, not to give about any activity, whether to be individual or collective. Bring glory to our nation. You may be very interested in cricket. Yes, the players are bringing glory to the nation as a collective member. What? You can do it. You also are able. You are not less than anybody else. So you can also bring glory to the nation. So that is because it is our duty. And the last 11th duty so far it is given is provide opportunities for education. We know it. Whether you are born in the rich family or in the poor family, all supposed to be given education. As we are born, we are supposed to receive. It is the duty of the guardian and the parents to give education, impart education to the children. So below the age of, at least below the age of 14. So that is all our duties. So we talked about, according to Indian Constitution, we can talk about two, fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So we talked about both of them, how our Indian Constitution brings about and gives us rights. And we also talk about the commission, Human Rights Commission, which is continuing to function, work on these particular rights. So this commission exists in the national level, and the same commission also exists in the state level. So we are going to talk about Human Rights Commission in the national level. The national level Human Rights Commission is an autonomous body. It is not connected with any of this. Constituted on 12th October 1993. The Protection of Human Rights Act in 1993. Based on this act, they developed it. This commission consists of a chairman and few members. According to when you talk about 3 from judiciary, from the law, and 4 from other departments. So normally 7 of them. So a chairman and 7 of them are member of this particular commission. It is responsible for protecting. What is the major work or function is to protect and promotion of human rights in India defined by the Act, that is 1993. The office is located in New Delhi. So just a summary we can have it about the National Human Rights Commission. This Human Rights Commission has particular function. National human rights mainly, when talk about it has to inquire, deal with the violation of human rights. Anywhere it takes place, it has to deal with it. And it has to intervene in the court. Some of the courts, some of based on particular persons, individual rights is dealt in a particular court. This Human Rights Commission supposed to inquire, intervene in that particular problem and deal with it. And it has to undertake and promote research. What is the research in the field of human rights? In which are the places how people are being exploited, how people are being discriminated. This has to go on research. What is happening to the people? It has to go on involve and find out what is happening in the society. And last one is to encourage the NGOs and the institution working in the field of human rights. Various other NGOs which are fighting for the human rights, which are working on human rights, these national human rights supposed to encourage them. So the National Human Rights Commission and its function we have seen. We are going to proceed with the second one, is the State Human Rights Commission. It is similar to that. How it is functioning, how it is existing in the national level, it is also in the state level, and some differences are there in the functioning. That's what we are going to see. Under the section 21 of the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993, in the Act Human Rights Act 1993, in that under the section 21 it gives every state in India has a State Human Rights Commission. So based on this section 21, every state should have this commission. So that means what? All the states in India will have, should have this Human Rights Commission. The major principal concern is to protect and promotion of human rights in the particular state. So we will talk about later what is the meaning of particular state. So, and it's moreover procedure to adopt the Human Commission to conduct its proceedings on its own motion. It's not involved in various others. Mainly, action taken on complaints regardless. Regardless means we come to know race, color or religion or anything. Without anything, we have to take out the complaint. The office of the state, of our state, is located in Chennai. Our own headquarters, this Office of State Human Rights is located. The functions more or less similar that we talked about the National Human Rights Commission. It is a similar all the thing, but only one difference is there. What is the difference? It is confined only to the state. The human rights particular thing what we are talking about, there in the particular state it is confined, only restricted to the particular state. It does not go beyond the state. It does not. If it is a national level issue, it is dealt. But if it is a particular state, it is dealt only in the particular commission. It is also recommend compensation to the victim. Okay, it supports to the victim. Okay, with that we are stopping the Human Rights Commission. Now we are going the other parts of, apart from the fundamental rights which is described by the Constitution, we have to ensure certain other rights. We talk about fundamental rights. Beyond that, there are some other rights existing there. So that's what we are going to talk about. So we might have come across some of the rights. So we will just summarize what is what. The first one is child rights. Second one is women's right. Third one is the labor right. So to talk about the child right, a person who has not completed the age of 18 should not be involved in various aspects because they are all minors. According to UNO, United Nations Organization has given is those who are below the age of 18 should not be means involved in various. What are those? We will talk in the later. According to this UNOs, in the Indian Constitution Article 25, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights gives about various aspects based on the principles. The Declaration of Rights of the Child was accepted and adopted in the UN General Assembly on 20th November 1989. So based on that, what is the basic rights given to the child? A child is supposed to have right to life before birth and after birth, right to the family environment, right to education supposed to receive, right to benefit from the society and security. A social security in the society is supposed to be secure. Right against sexual exploit, nobody can touch or do various other sexual abuse to the child. Right against the sale of trafficking, because nowadays we find so many other places trafficking is very common. So it is all against a child, a person. Right against other forms of exploitation like child labor. One of the things we can talk about, child labor. So these are all the child rights which we can, the other than these. So based on that, we can talk about as a child, first one, right to life. Everyone has a right to live, right, freedom of right to be born, right to get our basic needs. So right to life. Second one, right to the family environment. Normal childhood in the family environment, we should have it, can be given for adoption. If we are not able to protect, okay, we should not leave them in the street, we should not throw them. At least we can give in a particular organization, or we can give in the adoption of another family. The social security, financial support supposed to be given by the country. If we are unable to provide them with a good standard of living, at least they are supposed to protect them. Benefit of the various societies is very important. Even if they are the parents and their elderly people are sick, if they are disabled, if they are reached old age and they cannot bring up the child, the government is supposed to take care of them. The right to education, already we know it is a compulsory. Below 14, all supposed to receive education. So it gives us, okay, based on the article 21A in the constitution, gives us about the education. Right against the sale and trafficking of children. This trafficking, all this takes place because of poverty, because we are poor. So people use them for begging, various other purposes. So it is subjected to sale, trafficking for various reasons. What are the reasons that people are being trafficking? Is economic exploitation. People are kidnapped for the purpose of sexual exploitation, sexual abuse. Another one is a drug. And some of the people for child labor. They sell to other places for work, only for laboring. So these are the various ways these are done. So it says against, also right against sale and these types of trafficking of the children. Another one is sexual exploitation. The state should protect children from sexual exploitation and abuse. When they are forced or pursued to take part in the sexual activities, it can be physically or mentally. So it is one of the right of the children. So in the same way about the child labor, nobody is deprived their childhood health and education because of that. And they are made to work. That's what child labor is. Some places we can see because of the family situation they are voluntarily involved. It is also wrong. And the action will be taken on the owner or the person who has kept them in the job, work, okay, for the salary purpose. So there is a mainly, so it is all completely wrong. It is the elimination of child labor remains a challenge even today. So we have to do something for the society. The government will take care, and we have to fight for this, okay, the challenge of child labor. The findings of an international survey reveals the children with the disabilities, that is 3.4% of them are sexually abused, okay, than the normal children. So we have to give more care to the people, those who are not, okay, normal, okay, we are disabled people, children. So we have to give some more care towards those people. The second right that we are talk about is women's right. The constitution and the legal safeguard for women. Why the women right has brought up for to safeguard and to protect in the legal manner. Okay, that's what. It is for the welfare and the development of the women. So that's why these women rights are brought about. Women rights are under the Constitution of India mainly include is based on equality, dignity, freedom from discrimination, and also India has various status governing the rights of women. So when you talk about the women are accepted as equal as men, whether it is in the job, whether it is the family, whether it is the society. So that's what women right concern. The thirdly, labor rights. The constitution ensures the right of equality, equality of opportunity in the public employment, in the job, right to form association in the unions. So in all these aspects, according to the article 39D, which ensures equal wages to male and female workers for equal work. It also can be given for the women's right. So they are also given equal wages. So the same thing we also talk about the labor's right. So all of them are considered equally in the work. Okay, but not the children below 14 or 18 we can talk about. Okay, all are called as a minors. So based on that, so labor's right has to be kept up. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Very, very important. Don't think it is something has happened to a particular person. It is not how it's going to happen. One man's threatening of this violation will happen. It is to the whole society. So very, very important. Said by John F. Kennedy. So we have to keep it. It is only the words of him, but each one has to think about it. Don't think that's only happened to only a particular person, not to me. It will happen tomorrow to you. So we have to fight for them. We have to fight for the rights. So it has to be born within us. It is not only by teaching, but it is supposed to be born within us to give equality to everyone. So it helps in maintaining peace and harmony and development in the country, in the family, everywhere. So the equality is supposed to be followed everywhere. Okay, so to talk about two concepts, only last two concepts we are going to talk about, which is Right to Information Act, which brought about a very important aspect in a country. It enacted in October 2005. What is this main aspect is a revolutionary act that aims to promote transparency in the government institution in India, openness in our country. According to this Right to Information Act, a common man can demand any government organizations to provide information, whatever they need, we can ask for it. The government supposed to provide within 30 days. So a day's limit also is given. If the government do not give, if not, a fee will be collected as a penalty from the concerned officials. So if they don't answer to the particular person why it is, how it happened, so they have to give a penalty to the particular individual person who has filed the case or anything else. Yes, in the same way, it is one of the most powerful laws of the country, Right to Information Act. Through this Right to Information Act, one can get even copies of a government document Even we can file case against the government particular office and get records such as reports, papers and so on. Even a personal information of the individuals or organization related to the country's defense, even that we can get for it. And the intelligence, defense and intelligence such as BSF, CRPF, Intelligence Bureau are exempted from this RTI. So some of them are exempted, so it cannot be asked, but whereas other things we can get it, very information. The sign of application from your full name and the address along with the date and send it through the the registered post to the office of the concerned authority. So if you are filing, if you are asking to the court or any various particular aspects, we have to give it with all this. If a reply is not received within 30 days as it is given already, we can be filled with the appealed authority. So we can go again with the authority. The last concept of is the reservation is given a particular group of people. We talked about child, we talked about women's society, we talked about labor, we also talked about religion, caste, various others, the societies, differences. For each one there is a reservation. If you want to talk about the whole nation, it will go on. So we will restrict to a Tamil Nadu government. The state of Tamil Nadu provides 69% of the reservation to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe people, most backward classes. So 69% is allotted in various fields, whether it is a political field or education field or all that, all are given. So important particular reservation to the backward people. So under the reservation category, in the general category, 30% is reserved for women. So they are given more important, and 4% reserved for differently able person. So if you are differently able person and if you are having good education, you have a reservation in the government that you can get a particular job opportunity or various aspect. And another 20% seats are offered under each category are the priority basis of Tamil medium. If you have learned yourself in Tamil medium, you are given priority over it. Yes, my dear friends, Tamil Nadu transgender has been classified under most backward classes. So we have to protect, preserve each and every one of us. Dear students, the human rights is one of the very important and basic of each and every individual's identity. After learning everything, you analyze yourself. What is our rights? What are our duties to do towards the nation? Take your time, analyze, come up with your own flying colors. Thank you.